We're proud of what we've created here. I'll introduce a few people that have helped us on this. Richard Kirby is the guy that came up with the concept of how to handle this. Bill and Barry Smith, we called them in January and said, can you build this for us in a couple of weeks? And they said, sure. And that was an exaggeration on a lot of our part. Back behind over here, Daryl Couch, who's over here, did our PLC programming for us. Jose's around here someplace, he cleans up all our messes. So that's what we have. We're very fortunate. Phil Holland built this building for Ross Robert, who was going to put a drip irrigation plant. He's just been too busy and hasn't had time to do it. So we have a nice empty building. He let us move in here for a couple of weeks. So we're glad to have that building. What we're growing is the word we use now is fodder. It's kind of an old word for any livestock feed years ago. So what we have tried to do is create the ideal environment to grow our crop for livestock. In this particular instance, we're growing barley here. So we study it, we experiment with lots of different types. What ideal temperature does it like? What humidity does it like? How many days of sunlight does it like? Hours of sunlight? How much time to get to the optimum height where it's the highest amount of protein in the leafy and the root structure? So we've experimented with all that to come up with this design. There's lots of people out there that make systems. FarmTech is probably one of the big guys. I think they mail 6 catalogs a week to everybody. They have systems like this that's all manual. It didn't take us long to realize it's a great system, but if you're going to feed any size group at all, it needed to be automated. So that's what we've been working, and that's what we feel like we've created here. It is automated. That doesn't mean somebody shouldn't come by and look at it every once in a while to see how it's going. So our concept is 1 hour a day or something at the end of feeding, and before you start in the morning, somebody will just walk through and clean up a little grain that gets spilled here or there. So that's basically all that should be required to make this system run. You see the signs all through the setup on the different parts. What we start with is seed. The particular seed we're using here is barley. Evan Dewey grew this for us out of his farm. It's Pin Bark 66. We take that seed, we soak it for a predetermined amount of time. For barley, 6 hours seems to work pretty good. We aerate while it's soaking, we'll bubble through it, and that'll break down that outer shell so that it's ready to germinate, and it speeds up the germination process. Then out of the soak tank, and typically, depending upon your setup, if you've got no grain bins, then we'll have small grain bin out there. If you've got lots of grain bins on your setup, they'll automatically fill into the soak tank. So what we have here is each day has got 70 trays. The size of trays we have, the seeding ratio is 1 pound of seed, dry seed, per linear foot. So they're 7 foot across, so 70 trays, that's 490 pounds. So we're going to put 490 pounds of seed into our soak hopper every day. The hopper's sitting on load cells, so the load cells will automatically control it. So if you tell me that you want to start feeding your animals at 6 o'clock in the morning, then I know that I want to soak it for 6 hours, and I want to give about an hour for all the liquid to drain out after I open the drain. So I'm going to back up at 11 o'clock at night. I'm going to start the conveyor or the auger automatically to bring in the seed and fill your soak chamber with it. Then I'll set the water in, and it will just sit there for 6 hours. And Channel 10 wants to know where we are. Our news director made us turn around because the dust storm is so bad. We couldn't see the road as we were driving. I would like to see something up with you later this week, though. Oh, well. So we've soaked it. Now we're ready to start feeding. So Once we start feeding, we have an overrun computer based on the size feed wagon we have. We'll go in and select how many pounds. Let's say I want 1,000 pounds. My discharge conveyor is on load cell, so I'll keep track of how much I'm putting out each time. So the process will start automatically. It'll seed the tray, and then it dumps the tray into the conveyor. The conveyor dumps it into your feed wagon. Then then the tray gets pressure washed as it comes past with the pressure washer, turns down, and is ready for seeding again. So it's just a continual process. We water the system 4 different nutrient levels. The first 2 days is just clear pH corrected water. The next 2 days is a 50-50 mix of clear water and compost tea. Compost tea basically being water that's been circulated through compost, and it has all the enzymes and microbes and all the healthy things in it. And then the last 4 days is 100% compost tea. Compost tea is an organic compound, so everything we've done here is organic. If you start with organic seed at this end, you've got an organic product. This meets qualifications of grass-fed if you're trying to do grass-fed beef or grass-fed beef milk. Any of those things, this qualifies for that. So when the system's watered, for instance, the first 2 days, we water it for 4 minutes every 4 hours. The water runs, the trays are all sloped to that side, so the water runs through the tray, exits in a drain, comes back in the tank, is pumped back into the tank and recirculated. Second phase, we water 5 minutes every 4 hours. In the top phase, we water 6 minutes every 4 hours. And each of those nutrient solutions, after it's gone through, goes back and is reclaimed. We have a dosing system that monitors it, and if it's used up something in the process, then we're going to correct that and get that back where it makes some fresh compost tea or whatever. That's all done automatically. And then that's all there is to it. So if you'd like, if you kind of want to maybe gather around over in this area, we'll start the system up. We'll go tell it I want to put 150 pounds of seed in, or feed in, and we'll watch it start up and hope everything works.